Very excited to talk to you. This is a fun space adventure, I gotta say. I didn't know what to expect. You know, when you hear about space movies, you never know where they're gonna go. And there's so many different options out there. And then you, of course, add a pretty awesome cast, can I say? You know, I think it definitely changes the idea, the aspect. I mean, as this cast started to build, how excited did you get?
Yeah, I actually kind of jumped in last minute, so I didn't even
Oh,
know what I was
really?
really getting myself into. So I didn't really know who the cast was until like a day before flying down there, and some until I really got there. I knew Bruce was in it a few days before, but yeah, it was exciting. It was a really great cast.
And talk about this idea, this world. Can you set us up with the story a little bit about where we find, you know, your character Noah, as well as this crew that kind of becomes a, I wouldn't say family, but let's just say they align with each other. Let's just say.
Yeah, so it takes place in the future where Earth has basically been destroyed. So we need to move civilization, move humanity to a new planet and start anew. So this is the last ship that is going to New Earth, and it happens to be a military ship. So I played Noah, who's this. He's kind of a regular dude. Original script, he was a surfer guy. And my partner and unborn child, they're on the ship. I'm not allowed to be on the ship, so I sneak my way on in order to be there for my family and provide for them and protect them in the journey to New Earth. And in doing so, I sneak my way into the janitorial position and pretend like I'm part of the crew, and then meet all these actual soldiers, and together we try to survive.
Now, can you tell me what's it like to hold some kind of weapon next to this man? Like, I mean, to know that you're holding, I mean, that guy holds a weapon for a living outside of being an actual military person. When you see him with a weapon, there's like it's almost like Christmas kind of, isn't it a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, I mean, my character's never held a gun before, so it worked really well. Like I look goofy beside him holding the flamethrower, I think is what we have there. Which works because Noah's never held a gun before, and he was pretty natural. That's his thing, right?
Yeah, 100%. And the idea itself too of being on this ship and not having many places to go. What was it like on set where you were like, okay, we have this cabin and this hallway and this cabin and this hallway? I mean, because it's kind of the way it is, you know, on a set like that. It's kind of the same way because you have to use the same rooms over and over again in different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, and the set was incredible. We had this huge high school gym in Fitzgerald, which is in Georgia, and they converted the inside to this spaceship. So all the cryo chambers, the bunks, the hallways, and we did reuse the hallways and the bunk room. So it's kind of like before the scene, we're like mapping it out in our heads. Okay, so we had the structure of the ship in our minds, right? And then obviously we're recreating it with repetition on the day. But we're like, okay, so that room's here, this room's here. So in our minds, we know where we're running to and where we're running from. But it was cool because it felt like we were really in the spaceship.
And you know, I don't want to give too much away, but there be monsters, I guess is the best way to say it, right? There be monsters out there. What's it like working with CG kind of villains and monsters in some respects, as well as, you know, people with massive amounts of special effects upon them?
Yeah, this was my first time with CGI, so it was interesting. You know, it's just like a green point on the wall, or on occasion like a sound guy that's standing there, and we're looking at that point pretending it's the monster. And John Suits, the director, is incredible. He just would describe what's happening, what it looks like, what movements it's doing, so we just react off of that. But when the monster comes, we had a lot of fog on set, so when we're kind of looking through the fog and the mist, it gives it that feel of we don't really know what we're up against, and confusion and fear. So it was fun.
Now, and like I said, not to give anything more away, but there is, I mean, it's a ship, and so there's ways you got to go through, and there is a moment where you are going through air ducts. Did you have a little die-hardish feel? A little bit. Did you, I mean, did you want to have a lighter and just, you know, just kind of light it right there?
Yeah, it was a nice little nod to it for sure. It got old real quick though, because I realized how hard that is on your knees.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too. Like, with this as well. Did you any injuries for yourself? Any more physicality you thought you were ready for that you were not ready for at all?
Oh man, I'm always ready for physicality. I'm always trying to fight to do more stunts. We had there was a fight scene with me and Johnny Mesner, who plays Blue, and yeah, he's a big guy, he's strong, so he threw me around, gave me a couple bruises, but that was good because I was asking for that. I like when the stunts are real.
For sure. And so, when this first came out, and the idea of Breach was coming to you, you knew you were going to be part of it. If a friend asked you about the story itself, how did you explain it to them without spoiling it, or maybe even having a visual to show them yet?
I'd say it's a fun, action-filled kind of throwback to the '80s horror films. It's a story about family and starting anew and survival.
Very cool. Well, I'm excited for this because I think people are going to have a lot of fun, especially these day and ages. Trying to escape into something different, and having aliens and all kinds of craziness to happen is always cool too. Did you actually learn anything from Bruce himself? Does he impart anything when he comes on set? Can I ask? Is there anything that you, or is it just like, all right, you're here because you're working, I'm here because I'm working, let's go?
Yeah, we only had him for a few days. We didn't have him for the whole shoot,
Right.
so we were kind of heads down work mode when he was there to get all our shots in. Yeah, so we were very much in work mode, but it was cool watching him in this genre, because this is kind of his forte, right?
Right. Well,
deliver those one-liners, and I think he says like, "Who's ready? Who wants barbecue?" or something like that.
Yeah.
Those like classic cheesy '80s one-liners. I love that. So it was cool watching him do that.
Did you have any? I'm trying to think now if you had any one-liners. Did you get, well, yeah, you did, but I don't want to give away where it happened, kind of.
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, you got one. You got one. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. If you like 80 cheese liners, yeah, you're in good company 100% too. Well, cool. Well, I'm glad you had fun with this. It seems like a lot of fun, and everyone had fun on the set as well. I'm sure everyone kind of came together, and more importantly, when was this shot, by the way? I mean, this was pre-COVID, of course, I'm guessing. So.
Yeah, this was I'm trying to remember now. It was last October or November. It was around then. Yeah.
So right before everything started to kind of go downhill and everything too. So very cool.
Right before the chaos.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I want to thank you for talking with me today. And actually, I wanted to ask, can you tell us anything about Kingdom Come by chance?
Oh, Kingdom Come. Yeah, that's my friend Luke Vallon. I was in the show Daybreak with him, and we met and started collaborating a bit. And he's a great writer, and he wrote this this fantasy world. He's written a series, but he's created this whole world. And I've jumped on as a producer. We're in early development of it right now. We're still talking back and forth, and everything's obviously been on pause because of COVID, but it's in the works.
Very cool. Well, we look forward to that, and we look forward to more fun stuff coming out. I know it's kind of an enclosed world, but if we can jump out into space when we can, why not? Have some fun with it too. So I hope you and yours are all healthy and safe and well, and more importantly, I hope you have a great day.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Pleasure.